These are the 5 critical inputs. If you have these 5 critical inputs in place, the one thing we can guarantee to you is that the output rates, more often than not, they will play out for you. If these 5 things are not in place, I think you will struggle to maintain your output, consistently with scale. Number 1, operations is all about your people. Operations is people heavy. Operations is about managing people at scale, managing large numbers of people at scale, managing people in distributed sort of parts of the country. A very high quality hiring, training, and people management machinery is one of the core building blocks of any operation setup. If you do not have a people engine that is taking care of very high quality hiring, very, very high quality training, and getting to a people management setup where you don't see too much attrition. A lot of times I hear people saying, you know what, my blue collared workforce, so 25% attrition is perfectly fine. No, it's not. Just because he's blue collared, just because he gets $10,000 or $15,000 a month, it's wrong to assume that he will leave you for a few hundred rupees here and there. People don't leave jobs easily. Second building block, scalable operating leaders and ops structure. There is no other team in the company that depends on leaders at every single level to be of a certain quality than the operations team to do well. In many ways, it's like the military. In many ways, this is a command and control culture in operations. People look up to their people leaders more than any other function. And so in operations, the importance of having scalable operating leaders, you have to look at every operating leader in your setup, right down to the city level, and say, is this guy going to be good enough for the next 3 years or not? Why 3 years? Because 3 years is typically what it takes to get to a 10x scale, right? So you say, is this guy good enough for 10x scale or not? If the answer is no, then frankly, you should be looking at what do I do to help him improve? Or 2, if he lacks some basic intrinsics, how do I very quickly replace him? Because you don't have a scalable leader, it will have a big impact on the quality of operations happening under that leader. And 2, operation structure. It's not enough to just have very good leaders in the system. Do you have the right support teams to make sure that operations is able to operate at the level that it has to? 3, high rigor operating governance mechanisms. The number of times, we've spoken to companies and when we go deep into how do they run their operations, we hear that we review our operating metrics once in a week. Sometimes people say we review our operating metrics once in a fortnight. Operations is an every hour team. Operations is a part of the company where metrics need to be looked at not every day, they need to be looked at almost real time. And hence your governance processes need to mirror that. If you're going to look at your metrics once in a week, by the time you go back and take corrective action, it's going to be another 2, 3, 4 weeks. Can you look at metrics every single hour, every single day, and put in place governance mechanisms to make sure that the right metrics are reviewed at the right frequency such that you're able to course correct very, very quickly in operations is the third point, is the third sort of input capability that if you have this, then frankly, you will have an operations team that operates at the level that you want. 4th, mid and long-term design capabilities. It's a very, very hands-on deck role day in and day out. Ask any operations guy and the poor guy won't be sleeping properly at night because there is so much to do every single day, right? There's just so much happening around him. There are people not showing up to work. People become unhappy because salaries don't come in on time. For operating leaders, it's a nightmare. And for operating leaders, they're so caught up in the here and now that they don't have enough time to think about what do I need to do to get my operations ready for scale over the next 6, 12, 18 months. How do you prepare for that scale? How do you make sure that there is a significant improvement in the productivity of my people? If I'm so busy handling my day-to-day fires, how can I spend time on thinking about what do I need to put in place from a 6 month, 12 month standpoint today? It's not going to happen. For this, you need to install a capability called design thinking in the team. We call this a thinking arm of operations. Create a set of people, create a team which is only focused on the 6 month, 12 month roadmap, whose only job is to think about how do I improve efficiency significantly? How do I reduce cost significantly? How do I improve customer experience significantly? By structurally improving some metrics that will take me 6-12 months to improve disproportionately. This is what we call the thinking arm of operations. Big learning for us in life is that you must have a separate thinking arm within the operations team whose only job would be to be able to install these mid to long-term design capabilities. And number 5 is what we call a code red process as a high severity incident response mechanism. Will a severe incident happen every once in a while? Yes, the answer is yes, it's going to happen. When something severe happens, can I respond to it very, very quickly? Can I make sure that customer is attended to and that issue gets resolved within a couple of hours? That's what is called a code red process. A code red process is a process that allows you to bypass the normal processes in a company and invoke exceptional people and exceptional teams to be able to resolve an issue very, very quickly when needed.